Hello, fanboys and girls. Welcome to the Fanboy Fight Club podcast, brought to you by Media Junkies. Every Tuesday, we grace your ears with either a new or classic episode. You can listen to all of our previous episodes and our other podcasts if you just search Media Junkies on your favorite podcast app. You can subscribe to our channels, and you can be nice and leave us a 5-star review. You can also leave your feedback on Twitter or Instagram at Media Junkie Vids. I am your host, Jason. It's time to introduce you to the fanboys. You'll find out really quick where the Fight Club part comes in. So let's kick things off by going around the horn. All right. I'm going to throw in a little clap there. All right. We have our full cast of characters on this week's show. First, we got the brains of Media Junkie. We have Wes. What's going on, man?
Hello, sir.
Hello. How you doing?
Great.
Wes coming in with his velvety tones.
That's right.
Next, we have the host of the Rogue Agents podcast, Jamar. How you doing, man?
What's up? Let's go Rogue.
Let's go Rogue. All right. And then we have the man who you interact with on all of the Fanboy Fight Club social media accounts, Jake. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. I just can't get the image of the fruit roll-up dick out of my head.
Yeah. For those of you who aren't privy to listen to what goes on before we start this show, you can only imagine how that conversation got started. And then we also have Mike, who is also one of my co-hosts on the Gimmick Minute Wrestling podcast, and also the man behind all the graphics on our channel. How you doing, Michael?
I'd be better if I didn't just learn you have the clap at the beginning of the show, but
I clapped. All right. So before we hit up the main event, anybody have anything they want to talk about? Anybody seen anything, watched anything, played anything that they're excited about?
Hey, did any of you guys see It over the weekend?
I wanted to, but I didn't get a chance to go see it.
Fuck, we all suck. I did not.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Same.
Wow. Terrible.
All right, let's move on to the main event.
Well, we did play it. So you, myself, and Jamar got a chance to play the Ghost Recon beta. What were your guys' thoughts on that? I haven't got a chance to talk to you since.
Yeah, go ahead, Jamar.
I thought it was pretty cool. I wouldn't necessarily say it's better than like any other game that's going to be coming out like multiplayer wise, but if it came out in another year, I'd probably play the shit out of it.
Yeah, there's a lot coming out.
I personally, it's coming out at a bad time. There's so many great heavy hitters that are coming out to end this year. And I don't think it was as good as Wildlands personally. I didn't feel like it controlled as well. And I also thought the camera was too close to the character at points. So it felt really weird. Yeah,
I agree. That was my one real negative was the camera. Like, I just felt like it was too over the shoulder. Like, it was like right up on the shoulder. It threw it off a little bit for me, and it made it feel like really clunky, especially when you're trying to run and shoot at the same time, stuff like that. So yeah, that was probably the one thing I wasn't a big fan of. And I mean, it is a beta, so there was definitely a lot of glitches in there, but outside of that, I thought it was all right.
I will say though, changing topic a little bit, Nintendo had one of the best Nintendo Directs they've ever had this week. Just saying.
Ooh.
And Banjo-Kazooie is now in Smash, and he's fucking amazing.
Funny,
And
Banjo-Kazooie and
Terry,
not Conquer.
Right? And they're going to put the next DLC character for Smash Brothers is going to be Terry Bogard, so I'm excited about that too, as a Fatal Fury King of Fighters fan. So,
all right, let me in here for a minute. Jamar, what the fuck?
I just have to say, man.
I shouldn't have lost last podcast. All right?
Last week had nothing to do with Conquer, though.
2 weeks
I
ago.
lost the
God
week
damn it.
before. I lost before Conquer. Not even Rare is appreciating the game anymore.
They can't. Microsoft bought it.
Dear God. All right.
I mean,
shit.
are
Anybody
poop
else
jokes
have
still
anything else?
relevant? I'm
What's
just
that?
kidding. They're always relevant. I said, are poop jokes still relevant? And then I was like, I'm just kidding. They're always relevant.
Ah. All right. With that being said, does anybody else have anything they want to bring up?
Let's move on. I think Jake turned into a 12-year-old.
I shouldn't have lost.
All right. So let's go ahead and dive right into the main event. So let me welcome everybody to the main event. So because El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, is releasing in October, our fanboys wanted their chance to pitch a rap series that deserves a movie. Of course, Wes didn't get his choice since he is the bitch of the week. But I think Michael and I gave him something he can work with. So we were kind of fair when it comes to this. So here's how the main event works. All the fighters will be given an intro round to bring their topic to the table. They'll be given a 30-second defend round, a 30-second attack round, and then a closing round to give their final arguments. In between each match, the fighters will be judged. The goal is to win, but the motivation is to not be the loser, because the loser of the show will be deemed the next bitch of the week. Mike, would you like to explain to the folks at home what it means to be the bitch of the week?
So when you're the bitch of the week, essentially, you're such a loser that now the judges of the next episode get to decide what you get to argue, and you're forced to compete in that week's argument no matter what. It doesn't mean whether you don't like the topic or if you just want a week off. Sucks to suck, you still have to fight, and you don't get to choose what you're fighting for.
All right.
On top of that, if you lose again, you continue to be the bitch of the week, but this time you're a double bitch. And then you get one more try before you become a triple bitch, and then if you lose that, then you get demoted to judge for a week just because you're so awful at arguing we don't want you on the show.
All right, there you have it. So that
Watch
is what
Mike be the first triple bitch of the week.
So that is what they're fighting against. So judging today's bout is going to be myself and Michael, so that's why he went ahead and explained that for you. So that means fighting out of the purple corner, we have Jamar tonight, and fighting out of the green corner, we have Jake, and fighting out of the bitch of the week corner, we have Wes. So let's get this started. Now, Jamar, you're going to be up first to make your case, so go ahead and let us know what your topic is, and let's hear what you have to say.
Sounds cool. Let's start it off. Let me move that over. This is going to sound really weird, guys, but get ready.
What's that? Yeah, we're ready whenever you are.
Yeah, we're waiting.
Go get shot. Now, this is the story all about how my life got turned upside down. And I'd like to take a minute, just sit right back, or sit right there. Sorry. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air. Now, I could probably keep going, but you guys probably already know the song. Actually, you're probably singing it in your head right now. So
I would be singing if you didn't butcher it, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Thanks for interrupting me. Anyways, basically the reason why I'm choosing this is Fresh Prince of Bel Air for the TV series that is finished, but I would like to make a movie for it. It's pretty simple. The plot would take place some years later, be based around, the passing of Uncle Phil. R.I.P. James Avery. That's my dog. Hillary, Ashley, Nikki, and Carlton, of course, Will, are all brought back together in the home one last time. They brought back... Oh, shit. I read the wrong part. Anyways, staying with Aunt Viv for the week, leading up to the funeral, in a much smaller home than the mansion that was sold at the end of the original TV series. If you remember that. Heartbreaking. The cast will have to struggle with the guilt from not being as close with each other as they should be. Also, the pain of losing a very important person, R.I.P. James Avery, and, of course, trying to figure out what's next in their lives. Now, it sounds sad, but it won't be a sad show. Definitely, there's going to be some funny moments, like Will's son getting to spend time with his uncle Carlton, and they have a ton in common, which is kind of funny and ironic. Also, you'll have Hillary coming back to the house, bringing her new husband with a very familiar name, Trevor. Seems a little odd. But this movie is also going to be very heavy-hearted and fun and a comedy, just much like the original series was, way back in the 90s, where it set trends for fashion, music, and pretty much took over. So pretty much that's all I have to say. The cast is going to be everybody who was in the original show. We're going to have Jeffrey come back. We also have Lisa, who is going to be the mother and wife to Will's son. And you know the rest. That's it.
All right. Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I gotta admit, I didn't see that one coming, but I'm not opposed to it. So, all right, let's go with Jake. What do you got?
All right, well, I'm glad Jamar went with one that is full of heart because that's also one that I picked, just albeit in a different way. I, of course, picked a Brian Fuller masterpiece, and that is Pushing Daisies. It was only on for 2 seasons.
Oh, interesting.
That time period.
Oh, you cut out there, Jake.
You're
might wanna
cutting
go
out
ahead and
real
repeat that.
Where did I cut out at?
You cut out right after Pushing Daisies.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Awesome. Woohoo for doing this on a phone. All right, so Pushing Daisies. It only lasted for 2 seasons on air. However, there was a 3rd season planned. And then once the writer strike happened and they got canceled and they couldn't do that 3rd season, the ending of the show as it stands now was a little rushed, a little forced. And then also he was planning on doing a comic book, but then DC had to be a bunch of dicks and shut down, was it Wildstorm? I think Mike might know the actual name of that publisher underneath DC. But so, you could have this great story picking up where the season left off with the 2 ants and finding out that Chuck, who is a girl that they thought was dead, had been revived by Lee Pace, who is known as the Pie Maker. He has the power to touch people to bring them back from the dead. However, they can only be alive for 1 minute, and if they're alive longer than that, something of equal life value dies. He brings her back. He finds out that she is the childhood crush that he had, and he was responsible for her dad's death due to him bringing back his mother after she had an aneurysm. It's a great show. It's full of heart. I would keep the entire original cast. So, like I said, Lee Pace as the Pie Maker, Ned. You would have Anna Friel as Chuck. You would have Christian Chenoweth return as Olive, and then you would also have. I always think I'm mispronouncing his name, but I think it's Chi McBride. Come back as Emerson Codd. The ants would be played by the same actresses that played them beforehand, so on and so forth. And you could just have this great storyline if you based it off of the episodes that were supposed to happen. And Brian Fuller talking about it, he said he kind of wanted to do a weird take on the zombies. So my thought process would be Ned the Pie Maker would find another person like him, but that didn't care about killing the people around him and just wanted to bring people back from the dead that would have to owe him, and he would kind of control the quote unquote zombies or undead that way by a debt system. So that's my idea.
All right, cool. All right, so Wes is up next, and he again didn't get to choose his topic, but we did let him know ahead of time. So Mike, do you want to go ahead and reveal what Wes's topic?
I'm not. Wes is revealing what Wes's topic is.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if he wanted to reveal it since we picked it, but yeah, whatever. That works. All right, Wes, go ahead.
All right, here we go. Bring in the energy, guys. This week's topic was selected for me, and once I learned what it was, I figured it would be easy, right? I get this idea, I'm like, oh, fuck, I got this shit in the bag. Surprisingly, I had a ton of trouble figuring out how I could shape this into a movie. So this show is one of the most beloved sitcoms to ever be written and one of the funniest shows to ever be made. And the general consensus about the show is it's about nothing. So let's talk about the movie that's going to be about nothing. And I'm talking about Seinfeld, the movie. I had a lot of trouble figuring out how to adapt this show into a movie, but I think I cracked the code, resulting in a movie that would make every fan happy. When we first left our group, they went into a jail for criminal indifference. So Seinfeld, the movie, kicks off 22 years later. And due to the time gap, all members of the group have been split or living their own lives. Jerry is still a stand-up comedian, and he's still dating different girls. Elaine is now CEO at J. Peterman Catalog after J. Peterman retired. George is jobless, living in his parents' home after they passed away. He lives off his inheritance. George was originally worried that his parents were spending all of his inheritance, but luckily they moved back to New York, where they continue to not spend their money, resulting in some nice money. Kramer is now an actor since he caught the acting bug after his unsuccessful one-liner part in the Woody Allen movie. With all these parties living in different parts of the country, an event happens that brings them together. Jerry's mother, Helen, has unfortunately passed away of natural causes, resulting in all 4 characters meeting to celebrate her life. And yeah, I checked and made sure all my facts were straight here. The actress is still alive in her 90s, allowing her to appear in the film. So this film is about reconnecting friendships. We've all had friends in our lives that were always around, and then at one point, you hung out without realizing it would be the last time you ever would. Having the relationship fractured at the beginning allows Seinfeld the movie to reconnect these characters and have them catch up. It also allows time for them to reminisce on past experiences, bringing lots of callback from the series. It also allows past characters to be woven into the narrative. For example, Newman is still around and is still Jerry's enemy, but now Newman has another enemy, and his name is Amazon. Newman has a B plot in the movie that will revolve around him attempting to bring down Amazon 2-day delivery because there's no way Newman could deliver a package in 2 days with the USPS. The best thing about Seinfeld the movie is the characters will be true to whom they are. TV these days is all about people doing good things and being good people. Seinfeld was all about how the characters were selfish and they wouldn't learn or grow from their actions. This movie will stick to the same formula. We're not going to rewrite it. And because of this, the film will feel like a perfect continuation, resulting in becoming one of the most successful TV shows adapted into a movie, and it's the clear winner for tonight's Fanboy Fight Club.
Wow. All right. Bitch of the week brought it. Okay.
Right?
So
Damn. Came out swinging.
You guys gave him Seinfeld?
Right? It's like you didn't even want a double bitch of the week. Yeah.
How is that a punishment? That doesn't make any sense. You give him one of the most syndicated TV shows of all time. Like, what? Okay.
You could have gave him My Mother Is a Car, and then you gave him Seinfeld.
you could have picked
gave him.
You could have
King's
picked Seinfeld.
Like, you could have given him so. Okay, that's cool. I can't wait to lose so I can get like the best option.
I honestly
Man, you're
thought he would
so
have trouble
salty
with
right
it
now.
because it was a show about nothing. So trying to make a movie out
I
of
mean,
it.
yeah, I spent, like I said in the group chat, I spent a day before I brought it up to Jason trying to figure out how I would do it, and I couldn't come up with a good way that I thought would be convincing to win an argument. So I was like, that's it's good enough that he can enjoy it, but it's gonna be a pain in the ass to try to fight for it. And
Where did this enjoy it
came
part
out
come
swinging.
from? I didn't know that was a part of being bitch of the week.
I'm not going to
I
lie,
was
guys. I thought it was actually, like, it sounds easy, but I thought it was really hard. Like, I worked on it all week, and I was trying to do it at work, and I couldn't fucking think of shit. And I did so many different ideas. Like, what about if Kramer had a son that he didn't know about, and they had to go, find Kramer because Kramer's missing? And then I was like, well, what about one of them died? And it was hard.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess we'll go into the rankings on the first round. But as far as round one goes, how do you have it? How do you have it scored, Mike? 3, 2, 1.
oh man, so my 1 and 2 spots, it was a close one. The big thing that swung me with my first place winner is Newman versus Amazon. That shit right there, I'm just like, I'll watch a fucking 2-hour movie just about that. Like, that sounds great. I was really on the fence because Jamar caught me with the heartstrings because Uncle Phil and like that bringing everybody back together. Like, I was like, oh, it makes me feel so much, and I want to see this really happen. But Newman versus Amazon, that took my first place. Putting Jamar at second place, and Jake, you did a good job, but it just didn't compel me as much as the other two did.
Yeah, it's
Didn't have
only because
anything that
you've
really
seen the other
grabbed
two
me.
and you haven't seen Pushing Daisies. Which is your fault, by the way.
All right. So I tried to go a little bit unbiased and keep my heart out of it just because Fresh Prince was one of my all-time favorite shows. So I can't just go for it based off of that. So I tried to just base it off of the detail and what you guys put into it. I got to go. Mine's a little bit different. I actually have Wes at 3 there. So Wes gets my number 1 vote for the opening argument just because I thought he spent the most time on it, made his case. And Jake actually got my 2 because Jake did a really good job of setting it up and explaining it. And I'll admit it's a show that I have never seen, but you kind of broke it down enough that I felt like I kind of knew what it was about going into it, even though I didn't have the same connection with the characters you brought up. And Jamar, I don't know if it was maybe because your mic was cutting out a little bit, but like and you kind of didn't get the song right, so that kind of threw me off. but I have you ranked as 1 on that one, but that doesn't mean there isn't still some time to make it up. I still love you though.
No, it's all good. I mean,
All right.
I didn't know I was going first either, so I was like really caught off by guard. So it's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why we have a show.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I'm glad I didn't go first.
All right, so round two. We got round two coming up. So the round two is my favorite round because they just completely shit on each other and completely say fuck it to everybody's idea. So Jake is going to be first in this round. So you got 30 seconds. Mike, you got the timer on this one, or do you need me to time it?
I got it up. Let's do
You
this.
got it up. All right. So Mike, you got 30 seconds on the clock. We got round two. Jake, fight.
All right, first of all, Fresh Prince. Will Smith does not have the star power he used to. It wouldn't go anywhere, and he would force Jaden Smith in there somewhere, and it would be terrible. As far as Seinfeld, the new awesome show for a show about nothing and terrible people is Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If I want to watch a show like that, I'm going to watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm not going to waste the time watching a 2-hour-long Seinfeld episode that goes nowhere and does nothing.
Oh, with 3 seconds to spare. All right.
Ooh, Jake getting his punches in, using less clock. All right. So second in this round is going to be Wes. Wes, you got 30 seconds on the clock. Mike, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Wes, 30 seconds. Fight.
Hey, Jamar, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. No mention of Jazzy Jeff. I'm legit offended. The dramatic movie mock trailer that was released sounds more interesting, and it took Will Smith 17 years to come back for Bad Boys 3. He's not going to come back for a Fresh Prince. Although I'd love him to. Pushing Daisies, I watched the show. I personally thought it wasn't good. I could only get for a few episodes. I like quirky, but that show's quirkiness didn't work, and that's the reason there were only 2 seasons of the show, 22 episodes before it was canceled. 5. That's all I need.
Ooh, 3 seconds left on the clock too. Damn.
Look at these guys being efficient now. This fuck everyone around. Everybody's getting a little, now that we've done it for a couple of weeks, everybody's getting a little better at it. They're not running out of breath.
That's because I'm judging this week.
All right. You got 30 seconds on the clock for Jamar?
Yep.
All right, Jamar, 30 seconds. Fight.
Pushing Daisies? Come on, like, it's a show that no one watched, and everyone watched TV because we had nothing else to do back when that show came out. So, please, next. Anyways, Wes, Seinfeld, like, he's not really that funny anymore. So I don't know if you could really make the characters as funny as what they really were back in when the show was in syndication. Have you guys seen comedians in cars? He's not that funny. That's it. I don't have anything else to say.
Ooh, all right.
All right, Mike, how you scoring that one?
This round was not quite as tough as the last one for me. Honestly, my number one spot still goes to Wes just because I feel like he found a good way to explain why the other two weren't good, rather than just being like, "Oh, shit on you." So he gets my number one spot this time around. Number 2, Jake takes it for me this time. I felt like he did a little bit of a better job than Jamar did at kind of attacking. Jamar, no offense, you just wasn't as good as what you usually bring to the table.
All right. So you got Wes 3, Jake 2, Jamar 1 on that one, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, so I differed from you a little bit. I actually had Wes 3. Again, he brought it. He brought the fight on that one. Definitely made clear arguments against both. I thought Jamar's argument was a little bit better, though, than Jake's. So I'm going 3 Wes, 2 Jamar, 1 Jake on that one. All right. Cool. All right, so we're going to move on to the Don't Come For Me round. This is round 3. So this is where everybody gets to kind of defend themselves against the arguments. So we're going to start off with Wes on this one. Wes, you have the mic. You got the 30 seconds ready?
Yep.
All right. 30 seconds on the clock. Wes, fight.
Seinfeld is hands down one of the best series to ever grace our televisions. Every year there's new talk about Seinfeld reunion that's quickly shut down. This shows that there's an audience anticipating and clamoring for a follow-up. With the way the world is today, now's a perfect time to bring back Seinfeld and see how they would act in the world with today's standards. Seinfeld covered controversial topics such as the contest, what was originally on TV, and the movie will do the same. Comedy films have primarily been flopping or rarely made because people are afraid of offending everyone. The Seinfeld show was never afraid of offending people and would do any topic they wanted. This is one of the main reasons why we needed the Seinfeld movie. It's a fun way to revisit the characters.
Holy shit, that was fast. All right.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to process what the fuck you just said.
Wes with the micro machine voice going on. All right. Jamar, you're up second for this one. 30 seconds on the clock. Ready to go?
So let's start off with the star power of Will Smith. He has 37 million followers on Instagram. People have even said in Aladdin that he was an amazing genie and probably was the best part of the movie. Second, let's talk about the fan remake. It has 5 million views and it piqued the interest of a lot of people. Even Will Smith, who was, I don't know, video that seems like he was actually interested in the idea
10
of
seconds.
making a new show. And I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't understand how you
5.
can attack Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was an amazing show and it was much better than Seinfeld for
Time.
obvious reasons.
All right. Way to defend both there, Jamar. Great job. Jake, you ready?
Yep.
All right, Jake, 30 seconds on the clock. Fight.
All right, I'm going to go one by one. So, you're talking about how it was canceled after 22 episodes. Yeah, I said in the beginning it was due to the writer strike, in which time we lost a lot of good shows that shouldn't have been lost. And then also, the other argument against it, that nobody watched it, that's why it has a cult following. That's why it's one of the biggest shows. Like, it's not one of the biggest, but it has one of the most hardcore fan bases following it, because Brian Fuller is a genius. Everything he touches has been great. He did Dead Like Me, he did Hannibal, and he did Pushing Daisies.
All right. So that ends round 3. How you scoring that one, Mike?
This time around, I feel like Jamar definitely lit a fire under his ass, 'cause he came and he took my top spot. He defended his property really well. He came back with fucking the Instagram numbers for how many followers Will Smith has. I feel like if you're going to put that much effort in your defense, then you definitely deserve the points. Second place goes to Wes. He still did a fantastic job explaining everything. He did a great job with bringing up that this is going to be a show that isn't afraid to offend people, which is something we desperately need, because I'm so tired of people boo-hooing about everything that's on TV and Netflix. Jake, you had a strong argument. I just feel like you stumbled over yourself a few times, and that kind of hurt you.
Okay, so let me make sure. You're keeping your own score, right?
I'm keeping score for both of us. You're good.
Oh, okay, because I was keeping score for me. I was making sure you keep score for you. Okay, so I scored this one actually a little bit differently. Except for the top spot, Jamar definitely brought it. He defended both arguments perfectly. Like he took time between both of them and defended it perfectly. So I gotta go Jamar on this one. I am gonna say that Jake, though, I'm gonna give the 2 points to Jake because he defended himself against the other two. Wes, the only reason that you didn't get the 2 points in this one, not that, I mean, you brought a lot of information in your spiel, but you didn't specifically go after anything either one of them said to you. And I thought the round 3 is supposed to be don't come for me. That's you're defending yourself against what they said in the round previous. And I thought you just kind of gave almost your closing argument in that round. So I got to give it to the other two on that one. So, all right. So that being said, we can go into the closing arguments. So we're gonna have Jamar go first on this one. So yeah, Jamar, state your case. Why is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air the one to be made?
Well, I'm definitely not gonna rap for you because I can tell that's not gonna go well. But but I picked this show not because the series finale was a bad or ended in a fashion that kind of like left people upset. I picked Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I can actually say it now, because the finale was perfect. Yet there's still a little bit story to tell, especially with the passing of James Avery, who was like a actual real father to me and to Will, in a weird way, to a lot of us. Now is like actually the perfect time, contrary to the belief of other people. But Will Smith is actually having a pretty huge renaissance right now with his online presence. Him coming of age and doing things and inspiring a lot of people would make sense for him to come back with a movie like this. Aladdin, Gemini, and of course we got the upcoming Bad Boys for Life movie. This timing could not be any perfect for a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air remake. So, or not remake, but movie. I mean, if you can find it in your heart to pick me, no, that's it.
All right. Way to make the case there. All right.
I tried that kiss ass approach last week, and Jason straight fucked me. So
take it from the bitch of the week. All right, Wes. The bitch of the week gets his chance to close it out. So go ahead.
So Seinfeld was a huge show in the 90s, so much so that E named the series as number one reason the 90s rule. And when you look at Seinfeld, Entertainment Weekly, Rolling Stone, TV Guide has all stated this is the best TV show of all time. And as far as the writing goes, the Writers Guild of America, the actual Writers Guild, voted it the number 2 best written TV series of all time. The only show it was behind was The Sopranos. So it's one of the shows that deserves to come back. And I know I myself, I love Seinfeld. I've seen all 180 episodes. I would love to see it come back. I know earlier Jamar stated that Seinfeld's not funny. He's on, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. He's still very funny. Here's proof of that. Seinfeld was on Curb Your Enthusiasm in season 7, and they did essentially a mini Seinfeld reunion to kind of make up for the episode that they finished on. And while it wasn't a full-blown episode or reboot or a continuation, since it was all fictional, it was incredible, showing that they still have it. And if they were to make it today, it would be great.
All right. Sounds great. All right. So that puts everybody's closing arguments in the book except for Jake's. So, Jake, you got a couple of seconds here. Go ahead and us out.
All right. Yeah. So back to, people coming after my show, it's Wes said it was too quirky. It is not too quirky. With shows like New Girl being as big as they were, New Girl just finished, even Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is very quirky, people still want that type of humor, and it still goes very well. In fact, I was just watching a great video by a YouTube channel named Wisecrack about how comedy is not a well-grossing genre of movies anymore. It does not stand alone. Good Boys came out this week. It was the only one in a long time that broke $20 million on its opening weekend. Comedy as a straight comedy genre does not exist anymore. Instead, comedy is more of a mode in which you tell other stories. You add it as a modifier to a different genre, right? You guys are both dealing with just straight up comedy things. Granted, Fresh Prince has a little bit more drama than Seinfeld did, but Pushing Daisies has all of it wrapped into one, told in an amazing way by an amazing visionary person, Brian Fuller. And you guys might not know the show, but it deserves every praise it's ever gotten, and it deserves to win this week.
Very impassioned way to close it out, Jake. All right, Mike, how do you got round 4 score?
Oh man, that round was really, really hard for me.
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, they all three did a great job.
All three of them definitely came, and closed everything together with good arguments. Surprisingly enough, my number one spot is going to go to Jake. Like, he went from being kind of iffy the past few rounds to he put everything he had in that last one, and he spent more time, I feel like, explaining to me why his show or his movie would work and why it should come back, rather than just telling me how great his show was prior to being canceled. So he takes my number one spot. Wes and Jamar, oh man, you both, it was so close, but Jamar takes it just because he spent more time, kind of not as much time as Jake, but more time than Wes, explaining why his movie would work rather than why the show was good. So Jamar gets spot 2. Wes, the reason why you came in last, because I feel like you focused so much on why the show used to be good and why the reunion on another show that wasn't really official was good, rather than explain to me why your movie deserves to be made.
Yeah, I kind of had that similar, to be honest with you. The only thing I had flip-flopped is I had Jamar 1 and Jake 2 on that. I thought both of them had the better closing argument, just because like you said, Wes kind of focused on what used to make it good as opposed to what would make it a good movie. I thought Jamar did a really good job, though, of explaining the premise again of what would bring them all together and how that would be impactful and basically set up the story, where Jake did as well. But I don't know. I just like the way that Jamar presented it a little bit better, because Jake at first kind of came off almost like he was almost kind of upset a little bit. Like he was almost like kind of like whining his way. He cleaned it up at the end, but like,
Yeah.
that's how it started off to be. So it kind of pushed me off a little bit. But yeah, so I'm gonna go 3 Jamar, 2 Jake, and then one Wes on that one.
All right. So then I guess it's time to go down for who's the winners and who's the bitch of the week.
Yeah.
So it was real close, guys. Like going with the new model that we have, where like first place you get of the round you get 2 points, second place you get 1, and last place you get 0. First place goes to Jamar with 9 points, and he came out of nowhere because he was for a while there in last place. Second place goes to Wes with 7 points, and bitch of the week is Jake with 6 points. Lost to Wes by 1 point.
Yeah, it's only because neither of you guys have ever seen the show and you're uncultured swine.
Man, I guess we know who's going to be our first double bitch of the week.
Wow. All right.
No, you guys just don't appreciate a well-made show. You rather go for these stupid fucking classics.
But it's
Yeah, that's right. I said it. Seinfeld fucking sucks.
What?
Canceled. Jake's canceled.
Oh my god.
Oh man!
Oh my God.
Butthurt
Guys,
everyone's gotten
It
so
does
far
suck
for the bitch of the
compared
week.
to Fresh
These
Prince of Bel-Air.
pretzels are making me thirsty.
Like these pretzels are making Jake salty.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, you can let us know if you agreed with Mike and I and how we kind of judged. I'm a little curious though, Mike. Did you not take into account my points as well?
No, I did. So
Yeah, here's the totals
first
I
place
got.
person got.
I got
It would've came
17.
out the
Jamar got
same.
17. Jake got 14. That's what I tallied.
See, I think we're going to discuss this off air, but the result's the same either way. So
Yeah,
we'll
the
discuss it after the show.
Yeah. All right.
That's just the difference between 3-2-1 and 2-1-0s.
Yeah, it's literally the difference because I'm pretty sure we just decided to go the 2-1-0. But anyway, let's finish the show and then we'll talk
Let's
about
wrap it up.
All right, sounds good. All right, so if you agreed or disagreed, Mike and I, please let us know at Media Junkie Vids on Twitter. You can also check out Instagram under the same thing. We want to thank anybody who listened today to this week's episode of the Fanboy Fight Club podcast. This is Media Junkie's flagship podcast, but we offer so much more. You can catch Michael and I on the Gimmick Minute Wrestling podcast. # live your gimmick. If you're a Division 2 fan, you can get tons of important info by listening to Jamar and Wesley's now bi-weekly podcast called Rogue Agents. # let's go rogue. You can also find all of our YouTube content at youtube.com/mediajunkie. And you can also interact with Jake and the rest of the Fanboy Fight Club on our Twitter at FBFC Podcast, and you can also check us out on Facebook at Fanboy Fight Club. So check out the Fanboy Fight Club Facebook page. So that being said, I'm going to basically close this out with a few questions. Will Wes win the contest? Will Jamar learn to rap? Will Jake find a poop joke irrelevant? And will Mike keep score? Find out the answers to all these questions and more next week on the Fanboy Fight Club podcast. Good night, everybody.